Yeah, so in the objective realm, we are mostly functioning in our beta brainwave capacity as we interact with our external physical material plane. And in this brainwave, the frequency of intention influences matter at a limited distance, but we mainly function at the surface consciousness level here. Um, with the subconscious sometimes even functioning in automatic mode, only purview to us if we are consciously aware to be aware. So interesting. Now, in the subjective realm, we function outside of this beta brainwave. So it's basically everything outside of beta, you know? And more into the alpha brainwave, and in some cases, theta or delta, or like I mentioned, the gamma superconsciousness, depending really on how deeply we can enter into these different states of brain awareness and presence. So these are lower brainwave frequencies. So everything outside of beta is basically lower brainwave frequencies. And we consciously are able to influence and cause an effect non-locally at unlimited distances, non-locally, because you are working through waveform potentialities and you're accessing the quantum field, the energetic field that is the basis of everything that connects the physical. So you're accessing that with your consciousness directly and causing a ripple through the quantum field with your consciousness. It's super, super interesting. And these are usually internal states where the focus is more internal, like, for example, spiritual or quote unquote immaterial, because it doesn't have to do with anything external in our physical reality. So in this state, we function consciously deep within the subconscious too. All right, now hang on with me. I'm gonna go on a journey here about brainwaves. All right, this is gonna be really, really fun. So, brainwave states. There are four major ones: the beta, the alpha, the theta, and the delta. So let's talk about beta first. So at the beta state, you are experiencing the objective physical material world, and you may hear something like you're quote plugged into this external experience because you're consciously engaged with all your five senses. So you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. These are all points of perception. So these five senses are really important to us in how we see and experience the world. And so we become like highly engaged with these experiential aspects. And so at the beta frequency, we're really at the highest frequency among all brainwave states. And you can be in different levels of beta. You can be in a low beta, you can be in a mid beta or high beta, depending on how alert and how engaged, and sometimes maybe how stressed you might end up being in the engagement with the external world. This is why it's sometimes good to get away, to step back, to detach, to have your recalibration time, because at this state we are conscious and awake, and we are really dominated by our logical thinking brain. So as a result, we are not able to tap into other frequencies because the barrier between beta and going to the next frequency, which is alpha, is really our analytical mind. Through practice, if you want to change your brainwave from beta to alpha, you have to be able to move beyond the analytical mind. Like, that is one of the requirements to moving into alpha. So at this brainwave, we're really engaged in, performing tasks and doing day-to-day activities. It's basically the brain state that we live our life in. And again, to reiterate, our attention is on the external environment in this brainwave. It's about our experience and our existence. All right, so I think I've covered the beta brainwave. I want to move on to the alpha brainwave, which is really one of my favorite brainwaves. I love talking about this brainwave. First, I just want to say that in my opinion, this is the brainwave that we should all be learning about, that we should all be cultivating, and that we should be functioning from. So, first things that is super important about alpha is something that I kind of mentioned earlier. So, in order to get to alpha, we have to go beyond the analytical barrier. So, the analytical mind is the barrier between beta and alpha. So, in order to get to alpha, we have to train ourselves to have the ability to lower our brain frequencies. And getting beyond the analytical mind is what allows us to slow our brain waves down to the level of alpha. Now, what's super, super cool is that when you move away from thinking and you relax into that calm awareness state, what you end up doing is experiencing your thoughts through imagery. It's super interesting. So the alpha state becomes more of an imagery state. All right, so I'm going to quickly recap the main characteristics I've mentioned so far about alpha. The first being that when you move into alpha, you start having more of an inner experience. You move past the analytical mind and you start seeing imagery. And also, when you get to alpha, you start having a direct effect onto the quantum field through your consciousness. So those are probably the main three things. Your inner world becomes more real than your outer world. You move away from the analytical mind and you start experiencing imagery. And you have a direct effect on the quantum field with your consciousness. So those are the three main characteristics, I would say, of alpha. But there's so much more to cover about alpha. So first I want to just mention a few things about how we kind of default into the alpha brain state in some different activities in our lives. So for example, when we become idle or we start daydreaming during the day, we automatically default into alpha. The other time that we are in alpha for brief moments are the times right before we go to sleep and the times when we wake up. And also we are in alpha when we go into creative mode, when we do some type of creative activity. All right, now another amazing thing that you can do at alpha is that you can access your automatic belief systems and reprogram them. It's amazing. You actually can tap into your subconscious once you enter into the alpha level. And the deeper you go into alpha, the more effective you can be. Because once you get to the alpha level, at the alpha brainwave, you can tap into your autonomic nervous system and you can start playing with the programming that is already in your subconscious, or you may lay down new belief systems in your subconscious. All right, so one of the main important aspects of maintaining and sustaining the alpha level brainwave is that you have to focus on being physically relaxed but mentally aware. This is the state of being you want to be in order to sustain the alpha frequency brainwave. All right. So there's more to this, and there's more to this how we use our emotional body to connect to the alpha level brainwave. So it's not just that we train our mind, but we train our body as well. Now, at the alpha brainwave, and closer to the theta frequency is really where also the left and the right hemisphere tend to synchronize and unify. So once you get to the lower brain waves, your brain starts to show immediate coherence. And so you start experiencing what's called brain coherence, when both of the hemispheres of the brain start to unify, and there's a level of electrical coherence between the entirety of the brain. All right, so let me do a quick recap on everything I've been saying about the alpha brainwave state. First, at the alpha level, your inner world becomes more real than your outer world. You move past the analytical mind into the realm of imagery. You begin to have an effect directly onto the quantum field through your consciousness. There are a couple moments in our lives when we default automatically into alpha, when we're idle or daydreaming, before and after sleep, and during creative activities. You can also tap into the subconscious or the autonomic nervous system once you move into alpha, and the deeper you go, the more effective you can be. And it can be recognized as the state when we are physically relaxed, yet mentally aware. And lastly, the brain hemispheres synchronize and produce brain coherence. These are probably the most important things to know about the alpha brainwave frequency. By now, I think I've made it clear that, in my opinion, the alpha brainwave is one of our greatest superpowers. And actually, we almost don't even tap into this frequency as much as we should. But we can learn to train it and make a skill from it. So I just want to say that meditation is one of the best ways to train and tap into the alpha brainwave. In my opinion, I think in order to be able to shift effectively from beta to alpha, you need to train both your mind and your body. And then, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you learn about it, and the more you recognize how you yourself individually can tap into alpha in your own personal method. So anyway, I always recommend people try maybe meditations for 15 minutes a day to start off with, and then you can build from there. And as you practice maybe training to go to alpha, you want to focus on that physically relaxed state and being mentally aware and present. I think that's kind of where I want to finish everything about the alpha brainwave. I have a couple more brain states that I need to get through. That was just beta and alpha. Moving beyond alpha, we move into what's called the theta state. Okay, theta is another amazing brainwave frequency. It's like a whole other world in theta. So theta is the hypnotic state. It's the state that, is known for being half asleep and half awake. So at alpha, you're physically relaxed and mentally aware, right? And the brainwave frequency is much lower than the beta. You're not thinking, you're seeing through images, right? And once you get way more relaxed, almost like you're half asleep, then you become more like half asleep, half aware. And so you're at a lower brainwave frequency, almost like you're going to drift to sleep, but you are, mentally aware and in this really cool, energetic flow. So a lot of things start to really be enhanced at this level, especially, creativity, problem solving, intuition, things like that. That's all I want to say about theta. And I want to move into delta. The delta brainwave is also a super interesting brainwave state because some really, I think, amazing quantum things happen at this brainwave level. So it's considered to be like the deep restorative brainwave state. without actually going to sleep, you can do and experience a lot of interesting things here. So this is the deepest and slowest brainwave state, and in its normal function this is the brainwave state that's responsible for restoration and regeneration during sleep. This is how we most often experience this brainwave state. So that's really all I want to say.